Hi everyone, welcome to Parade. My name is Sarah Dunk, and over on my YouTube channel, I share with you all things thrifting and fashion. In today's episode of Deluxe or Dupe, I'm going to show you how to take a somewhat controversial denim trend, the skinny jean, and revamp them and make them new and hot for spring, summer 2021. So I don't know if you guys have seen lately on the internet, but it's been a big debate recently versus Gen Z and millennial, whether skinny jeans are in or they're out. A lot of people are having trouble letting go of them, but in my personal opinion, I think that there's so many denim styles available to us, whether you're thrifting them, just going through your closet. So there's hopefully going to be an option out there for all of you. This is also super sustainable because we're actually just using that trend that I kept tucked away in my closet because I knew that skinny jeans would have a revival at some point. So go ahead, look through your closet first. If you do not find them there, you can find great affordable options at the thrift store, of course, in all different styles. Alright, so since we are finally moving into the warmer months, the first trend that I want to talk about are bermuda shorts. We've seen shorts kind of slowly get a little bit longer and longer over the last few years, I'd say, and now we're finally at a comfortable length. So I actually found these ones here over on Free People. They generally range between $50 to $150. So to purchase this trend new is quite expensive, and I'm going to share with you guys how you can easily take any old pair of denim and turn them into a very flattering pair of shorts that you're already comfortable and familiar with. The next trend is the uneven frayed hem. Again, a super easy beginner level thrift flip that I'm going to share with you guys today. If they're already cropped, even better. I'm going to share with you guys also a little way that you can spruce it up with some paint, because I've seen graphics be super huge all over denim as well recently. And then lastly, I'm personally a big fan of the flared denim look. That's kind of been my go-to style as of late. A boot cut mixed with a flare, nothing too like wide-legged because I find my legs just kind of get lost in those, but I'm all about like a subtle little kick flare look. So this is going to be the most challenging for a flip today, but I think I can take my skinny jeans and actually turn them into flare jeans. And you guys will have to wait and see how I do that, because it's going to be an experiment. So I have 3 pairs of old skinny jeans, slash not even that old, that I found in my closet. Didn't even need to dig that far because I remember putting these away only a couple years ago. So the first pair that we're going to be working with are these really nice light wash blue ones, originally from Topshop. They are actually already cropped. So you guys might be wondering, what are we going to do with these? Well, these guys right here are going to turn into our lovely pair of Bermuda shorts. Next up, we have a more mid-tone wash of denim. I actually really love these and totally forgot about them. I kind of got a little preemptive here a couple years ago and did the whole frayed hem myself, but today, to elevate that, we're gonna do the mullet hem, so it's a little bit shorter in the front, longer in the back. And then lastly, kind of like an in-between of those 2 washes of denim, I have these ones here. They're from Wilford Free. I actually thrifted these. Really good, well-made cotton pair of denim that is just a little too skinny for my liking right now. So these ones are going to be transformed into the flare denim. Take a look at this right now and just try and imagine how that's gonna happen. And as for tools, this is a pretty low cost DIY. These are all things I already have on hand and you probably do as well. So you guys have heard me recommend before, fabric scissors, an absolute essential if you are planning on doing any crafts, thrift flips, anything of that sort. I also have a pair of tweezers. I'm sure we can all find these around the house. And I actually have a little seam ripper right here. So this was a new addition to me, but these are super affordable. You can find them very easily online or at your local craft store, sewing store, fabric store, whatever it might be. Without further ado, we're gonna get into the first pair, the Bermuda shorts. And if you guys are curious what pair of denim I'm actually wearing today, a good old pair of classic mom jeans from back in the 90s or the 80s, whenever it might have been, but these still serve me well. They're perfect, they're comfy, they're great for moving around and doing some crafts. Okay, so we're doing this one just on the ground, on the carpet. I find having a flat, low surface is the easiest way to cut your denim and just ensure that you get a nice even cut from side to side, because we're just gonna be folding it over once we find our desired length. I'm just gonna make sure the button is done up, the zipper is done up to ensure that when we lay them, they're nice and even. And since we are doing a long short, there's pretty much very little room for error here because we're just gonna go longer like I always do in general. And then if it's a little too long, we can just go in with our scissors again and make it shorter. We're gonna start higher on the sides and go longer in towards the inner thigh area. leg done, and that's not looking too bad. So usually what I like to do, if all things are looking good, I will fold them over, and as you guys can already see, we're getting some natural distressing, which will happen obviously after you start cutting. Boom. So obviously we haven't really changed the shape of the initial denim because it's still gonna be skinny throughout the thigh and then the leg. So we got rid of the leg part, but now we want to focus on what's going on up here because you definitely don't want them to be too tight. Everyone knows the worst thing is like a really tight pair of denim shorts on a hot summer's day. So what I think I'm gonna do here is just actually rip the seam on the outer side of both sides of the denim. I could even take my tweezers and just kind of go at this raw hem a little bit. So that's what I'm gonna do, and then you guys will see the final results. Next pair of denim is the darkest wash. And when I put these on, I realized they were a lot skinnier and longer than I had let on. So we're gonna actually make these more of a capri length today because I personally think capris are gonna come back for summer 2021. Maybe a little bit into summer 22 actually. I think it's one of those really early trends. So the whole idea here is we're gonna be taking this already frayed cut hem, making it a little bit shorter in the front and longer in the back. This is a more intermediate style thrift flip. It's not that much more advanced than the denim shorts. I feel like if you start off there, you get the feel of how to use a seam ripper, your fabric scissors, and then you will be able to tackle a little bit more of a challenging DIY. So these jeans probably aren't perfect considering I cut them to begin with a couple of years ago. So what we're gonna do here, make sure we're not having the denim be folded over when we're cutting because we want both sides to be different in length. So I'm actually gonna go ahead with the seam ripper first. We're gonna rip up the seam just up until where we think we want that higher slit to go. I think that looks good. Cut in the front right at the top of the seam, straight across, and then we will worry about the back side after. So as you guys can see here, we have a flap going on because we only cut the front side of the denim. So now we're just gonna go ahead along the seam. You can use the seam ripper here, you could use your scissors just to remove this piece as well. So now we are left with this cutout style of look, which is kind of what we're honestly going for, but a little bit too drastic. So I'm just gonna eyeball a couple inches longer. We don't want it to be anything too crazy, probably like 3 finger widths down, and then we're gonna cut. So obviously this looks super clean and sharp right now, but again, we're just gonna go in with our tweezers, pull away at the white thread so it gives it that more raw, natural look, and repeat it all on the other side. So what I want to do now that we have our distressing and our cropping and our fraying done is go for some sort of graphic design on the back of the jeans. So I've seen this be a huge trend, and I just think like custom denim is a huge trend in general. And when you actually do it yourself, it's got that own unique touch to it. So I think might as well go in. The whole look right now is very like distressed DIY, almost like a kid's craft project. So you don't need to be intimidated if you are not an artist, because I am definitely not. Today I'm gonna be using these fabric markers. Okay, so I kind of actually like how this dark blue color looks because it almost looks like the reverse of bleach. So it looks like we kind of just dyed it a little bit darker denim, which I think is really cool because that would be very impossible to do in a star formation. I'm gonna start with smaller stars at the bottom and then work our way up to probably about where our knee crease would be. And again, just go with what your inner artist is telling you to do here. You could also use fabric paint, you could use fabric spray paint, you could use a stencil. It's really up to you. Okay, so this next DIY is gonna include a little bit more patience, some fabric glue, and some old scrap fabric, anything that has a cool graphic print on it, and you're gonna see why in just a second. So since this is gonna be our flared pair of denim, we obviously have a long way to go because these are far from a flare right now. And essentially what we're gonna be doing is creating a large flare with the denim here and the seam ripper, and we're gonna be inserting a layer of pattern fabric underneath just with the fabric glue to give it that extra width. We don't wanna do anything too crazy, too bell bottom, but we're just gonna wing it again with what we're comfortable with. This will also depend on how stretchy your denim is. So maybe try them on as you're ripping just to make sure you don't go a little too far. So I don't know if I mentioned it, but we're just doing the outer side of the denim because the inside is gonna remain the same. So now that I've got my desired length, I'm actually just gonna flip it over and mark it with this fabric marker just to ensure that we have an even cut flare. Now what you wanna do is take your denim, flip it inside out because we're actually going to be fastening on our excess fabric, but what we're going to do here is use some fabric glue. What we're going to do here is make sure that we have the flare laid out as flat as we can and as wide as we can. Now we're gonna take our strip of fabric. I have zebra here personally. I'm gonna cut out 2 pieces that are in width from the corner to corner of where we cut and just allowing like an inch on each side so we have room to glue. I am very thrilled with how these denim shorts turned out. The great thing is they're a pair of jeans that you purchased and loved in the past. They definitely have like qualities to them that you're gonna love in a short as well. So I truly think that the best way to find your perfect pair of denim shorts is just to make them yourself using a pair of denim that you already love. As I mentioned probably already, once you put these in the wash a couple times, put them in the dryer, they're gonna fray even more and give them that good old DIY vintage kind of look, which I think is really cool. So right now I just did what I could with the tweezers, but they're definitely gonna look even cooler the more times you wear them, which I think is truly great. And these are so comfortable, you guys, and I am obsessed with them. So DIY number 1, it was a huge success. Definitely go try this out yourself. You can make them essentially for free rather than spending around $100 on the deluxe version. Okay, so this pair of denim actually turned out a lot more formal than I anticipated, but I think it's such a cute little way to elevate a pair of old skinny jeans for the summer because, as I mentioned, I think this capri style look is going to be huge coming back into the warmer seasons for the next couple of years now. So you're going to be set on the trends. They are still skinny, but that doesn't really bother me when the length is a little bit shorter, and I think adding the stars onto the back was a really fun added detail. But they are super comfortable, and I always love this pair of jeans, and now I love them even more. So definitely a good upcycle, and we kind of combined multiple styles of denim that I saw in Free People that all ranged in the $100 to $150 price point, which is insane. So we have that full cropped denim rough edge look, and then we also have the graphic denim, which I think is just such a fun added way to add some diversity into your denim collection. All right, after letting the glue dry for a few hours, we have the last pair of pants, and I think they are so fun. Definitely the most different, definitely the most time consuming, and definitely the most advanced DIY that we did today. So I really hope you guys enjoyed seeing all 3 of these denim DIYs. So in total, I think we spent around $20 for all of these DIYs combined, which is incredible. You can't even go out and buy a new pair of jeans, skinny or not, for that inexpensive. Beginner, intermediate, advanced, whatever level you are at, definitely go give these a try. I personally think the shorts are my favorite because they're the most wearable, the most practical upcycle that you can possibly do. Nothing like converting an old pair of jeans into denim shorts. It's just can't be beat. So make sure you guys check out the Parade YouTube channel for more fun Deluxe or Dupe videos like this, and you can check me out at Sarah Dunk on all social media platforms for lots of thrifting, fun, hauls, fashion, all that kind of good stuff. So thank you guys for joining me today with this Deluxe or Dupe episode, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!